Carol qualified third this week. Her last title that she won in Baltimore in '94 came from the number 3 position. So fond memories from this position.
Comes up a little bit light there. She was coming high towards the end of the last match. Now, she did not get to bowl on this pair of lanes during that break. She was able to go throw warm-up shots on 25 and 6, which is the pair next to it, if she chose to.
And we saw a lane break down there briefly. Overall average for Carol on this TV pair of lanes was 233. The pair does not seem to be scoring that tonight. She misses the bucket.
Oh, she again tried to straighten out her ball at that spare, and so the ball was not driving to the left and didn't take out the 4 or the 5 pin.
All right, and our first look at Lisa-Wagner, qualifying second this week, averaged 216, and she had the lowest average of the television finalist on the TV pair. That was with a 203. The other 4 players all averaged 230 or better. Ringing 10.
Okay, you can see how much farther right Lisa's able to play. Very straight up outside the first arrow. With her ball speed, she's able to get the ball to stay back and not hook too early.
Match play record, the best of the 5 finalists, 18 wins, 6 losses, 15 out of her first 16 matches she won. No problem with the 10 pin.
That's pretty incredible, 15 out of 16 matches. There she's got the ball about chest high. See how she bends her knees, gets her momentum going forward before she steps. Good high backswing, long fluid arm swing. Strong release. See how she actually turns her foot. She pulls the ball through. She has a little bit of late timing, what you'd say. Her foot is to the line before the ball. And as she pulls it through, her foot becomes, turns straight to the foul line.
And if you recall, if you were with us on the spring tour, you saw Lisa-Wagner along with her partner Carolyn Dorn finish 4th in the Storm Doubles. Whoo-hoo, ringing 10 again. That time that 6 pin actually hit the 10 as it spun it around.
Looks like she's got a great shot to the pocket out there, but sometimes it is hard to carry out the 10 if the ball's finishing too late from that outside angle. She's changing balls to shoot the 10 pin.
And again, no problem with the 10 pin. We're going to take a look at the size of the field this week. 64 players, average to cash 196.
Average to make match play 199, and to make the show 214.
So the scores definitely came up a bit there in match play. Carol still struggling as she came up high, leaves the 610. Carol averaged 230 in her last 16 games to qualify in this number 3 position. See, she defeated Lisa-Wagner in match play, 245 to 180.
Notice Carol does not change balls here to shoot these spares. She just slices it out.
That almost backs it up, doesn't she?
Almost, a la Robin Romeo.
Well, that has to be some benefit for her as well, because it enables her to stay with the same ball.
Okay, she's making a ball change here. She's going to try to get something. Either we'll have to watch where she plays, but it appears she's trying to get a ball she could go right farther with, and it'll hold back.
Leaves the 3 pin. She was definitely inside there.
Yeah, she actually moved in. See, she actually moved to the left a little bit, played around the second arrow there, a little bit outside of it. Ball hooked way too hard at the back end.
Maybe that ball's drilled.
In our great sport, there are people who bowl.
Well, our power has been restored now. It was a city power outage. We were out for roughly 45 minutes. Temperatures outside in the mid-90s. I'm sure a lot of air conditioners, generators, things like that were using up all that power. Right now, Lisa-Wagner is up in the 3rd frame. And she comes up through the nose now due to the delay. The players were able to practice on practice pair down the way a little bit. Then they came up to 25 and 26 through 5 minutes of practice. And Jan, they were given practice on 27 and 28 as well.
Right, 2 shots on the TV pair. However, with the heat in here, it did get quite warm as soon as the power went down. I would assume that the lanes have dried up quite a bit. You can see by the way her ball hooked. She also looked a little bit slow on that shot.
she converts the spare, the 3-6-10. The last outage we experienced, Columbia, Tennessee, in the winter of '94. We were out for a few hours, weren't we?
And we froze in that one.
And a look at the scoreboard. As you can see, Lisa-Wagner still has a 9-pin lead. I'm Lisa-Wagner along with Jan Schmidt. We are in the championship finals of the $75,000 Quantum Technologies Old Dominion Open. We're here at Denby Lanes in Newport-News, Virginia. And she's back. A little hand clapping for herself.
Great shot for Lisa after this long delay. I spoke to them and asked them what they thought. We'll see right here, but Lisa said, I'll let you know in 7 frames if it affected me. All 10, nice shot.
And Carol answers it. Well, that's a gambler for you. I'll let you know in 7 frames.
And Carol said, I don't know. It's been a long wait. I asked her how her leg was. She said, right now it feels fine, so we'll see.
So it didn't tighten up too much. That was a fear, I'm sure, that is this muscle going to tighten up? And there's the muscle that I'm speaking of, her left hamstring.
Mm-hmm. Hamstring was pulled.
Comes up light, leaves the 2-4-5. Now, Carol-Gianotti was actually struggling a little bit before we went away.
Yes,
well.
she was. And if you recall, she had just changed balls and tried it for 1 shot. And now the couple of shots here might have given her an opportunity to get a better read on the ball. The 2 warm-up shots probably were good for her. However, came up late on this lane.
Very direct. Our proprietors here, Dana Powell, or he's the general manager, excuse me, Dale and Dwight Bryant, the proprietors here. Gracious hosts, especially during this break. Bought the round of Cokes for everybody. Oh, rips the rack for the double and a 19-pin lead. Some big moves by Lisa-Wagner, barely making the cut there.
And that move was she was playing in and moved to out during match play for the last round.
Very consistent, though, for the other 5 finals. They were actually all up there in the top 24 the whole week. And Lisa-Wagner throws 3 in a row, increases her lead to 29.
Well, it doesn't appear that the break has hurt her any at all.
The general manager here, Dana Powell. David Morgan, the assistant general manager, will be on hand in the presentation. They did a great job. I know the ladies had a good time this week.
They did. Everyone was so hospitable, and they provided us with food and 2 cocktail parties, and we had a really great time.
And there's the proprietors I had mentioned earlier, Dale and Dwight Bryant, here at Denby Lanes. Nice little wink there. And Dwight, very friendly. Oh, I thought she was going to get that.
I did too. It appeared that the ball was going to finish hard enough to take out the 8-pin, but it didn't. It deflected off the 3. Now this is very interesting, actually. She's come up high on lane 28 twice and light on 27. Now at the beginning when she started, she said lane 28 was tighter.
Gets it to the pocket, but leaves a half 10.
That was a better shot. She's going to need to get it lined up and get it going right now.
So far, the finalists are finishing in the order that they qualified. Cheryl Daniels lost the first match, finished 5th. Jeannie Nacarado won a match, then lost, finished 4th. Carol-Gianotti right now wins a match. Yet she's getting ready, I hate to say it, but she's trailing quite a bit here in this match. She's down by 43 pins with only 3 frames for her to go. And she qualified 3rd. Lisa's last title was in November of 1993. She won 2 titles that year, was also named the Bowler of the Year. Gets a break by just leaving the 2-pin.
She sure did. She sent that ball way to the right.
Pretty routine spare for Lisa-Wagner, the 2-pin. 15th year on tour, and boy, has she accomplished a lot. As you mentioned in the opening, Jen, probably anything and everything in bowling she has done. And she converts the spare. Right now, our sideline reporter, Kim Kennedy, is with Jeannie.
Thanks, Leah. Jeannie, thanks for joining us down here. Tell me, in your 16 years, have you ever heard or seen anything like this?
Unfortunately, yes. In 1994, in February, we had an ice storm in Columbia, Tennessee, and it delayed the telecast for about 5 hours, but they did shoot the show approximately 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay, great. You bowled great this week. Is there anything you can tell us about your experiences here at Denby Lanes, our very first tournament here of the summer swing?
For being a maiden tournament, they had a great turnout in their pro-am. The people who came to watch us bowl, they were just absolutely wonderful. They were here at 10 o'clock in the morning to watch us bowl, and usually it's deserted in the morning. And tonight, before the telecast, they were outside the door before 5 o'clock waiting in line to get in.
Oh, that's great. I think the biggest thing, though, I really appreciate was the caddies. It's so great. More and more of the centers are having the kids out with us and helping us carry our equipment week to week, and game to game, rather, and it is just, it's so nice.
It is, especially for us older players out here that I've been out here for 16 years, and we really appreciate it because sometimes those bowling balls get awful heavy, Kim.
Oh, they really do. I know when I'm confused, I'm carrying around just a few too many. It's a little too confusing for me. Thanks, Leila.
All right, thank you, Kim. And those caddies are usually very helpful.
And while we were listening to them, Carol-Gianotti came high again on lane 28. Obviously hasn't been able to figure that lane out. Like I said, it was tighter earlier. It may have really dried out during the break here.
Carol represented Australia in the 1988 Olympics. Also named to the Australian Team of the Decade for the 80s. There's a look at Dana Powell, the general manager here at Denby Lane. And they were so great this week, they've already decided to come back next year. So if you are in the area and you'd like to participate in the Pro-Am, it'll be roughly around the same time. I believe July 5th through the 11th. Is that the dates they gave? I think it was pretty close to that. I know it wraps up on the 11th. Oh my, well, if you're going to leave a solid 8-pin, it's nice to do it if you have a 44-pin lead.
That's a great shot by Lisa. You're exactly right. It's a little bit easier to shake it off when you don't feel like it may cost you the match. Lisa doesn't appear to be having any nerves at all. Last night when she started the last round of match play, she started off awfully shaky. She said she was very nervous. Worked a lot on her breathing techniques to try and slow her heart rate down, calm herself down, cool herself down. She said she can think clearer and execute better.
Well, you would think with 79 career television appearances, she wouldn't be nervous anymore to try to make a show. But after a while, when you haven't made one for a while, I guess you get those nerves right back again.
I would think so. You know, and Lisa's really one she's always had some nerves. I don't know if anyone doesn't have any nerves at all.
Some people play on the nerves, actually bowl better because of that. It's a nervous energy. Their adrenaline gets going.
Right.
Ooh, she was out to the 1-4 on that shot. She paid the price as the ball did not make it back. Carol looking over at the scoreboard, laughing. Like you mentioned earlier in the opening, like that carefree attitude that she has. Here she is. She's pretty much lost this match. She has. She can only shoot 191. Lisa-Wagner has already posted 192. Carol-Gianotti will take home a check of $4,290 for this week's work. And Lisa-Wagner just picks up the spare, but it's all academic. We'll be back to take a look at the other finishers this week here at Denby Lanes.